The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Danny Brewer back with you now. The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. You know, finer than some fresh fried chicken, because I got Matt Rigsby on the other side of the table from me, mastermind of Siegel boys basketball. Coach Rigsby, how are you?
I don't know about mastermind. However, I am doing just fine, Danny. How are you, sir?
Well, you know, the thing is you're the big cheese, whether you want to admit it or not. You are the big cheese at Siegel, and you guys have been had a good season, I think. Your record may not be what you want, Coach, but you got kids that are playing hard, and I think that's what's most important.
That's going to be a thing for us, not in, not out, and that has been consistently us. I mean, that's got to be your staple. You know, that's got to be number one. So yes, we play hard. Do we make the correct decisions defensively or offensively sometimes? Of course not. Here lately, it's been we'll put a pretty solid 4 quarters together on one side of the floor, might say defensively, but then offensively we'll struggle. You know, it's kids. I mean, what you go back to the drawing board, you go back to practice floor the next day.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about your seniors, because region starts tonight. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But region starts tonight, so now is kind of the time of year when, hey, it's win or go home. I mean, because the second season has started. District tournament, you kind of know that you're going to keep playing another game. But region tournament's a little bit different story. Talk about your seniors going into tonight's game as far as what they've meant for this program, and kind of talk a little bit about those kids.
I would be glad to. R.J. Biggers, number 10 for us. He plays the 5. Beyond athletic, maybe most athletic kid in our school building. Undersized for his position, so I mean he has to play so hard. But he only has one gear anyway, so R.J. fits that bill. Devion Ewing, number 23, he's the glue guy. I mean, he refuses to shoot the basketball. He knows scoring is not. I mean, sometimes if I yell at Devion at all, it's for go on and take the shot, son. You know, but he's just so unselfish, and he just understands his role. It's rebound, defend, and he's a great communicator. Damon Goring, our point guard, number 4, he just gets beat up and banged up every night, having to play that position. Getting jump traps ran at him or whatever, and having to make so many quick decisions on the fly. But it's a special class, and I'm honored to get to say that I've got to coach these 3. I can guarantee you that 3 fine young men.
So 3 seniors. I mean, it's bad news at times, but maybe it's good news when you think about the future, because you got a relatively young team.
Relatively young, for sure. Yeah, I mean we're throwing a lot of sophomores out there on the floor, and so they had to talking about the seniors, but now pivot and talk about the sophomores. I mean, they had to grow up quick this year. And, you can't use the lack of experience or lack of floor time excuse now. This is game 30 or whatever it is. So, but, again, they had to grow up quick to help these seniors. And overall, at least a B in all of those things. I would grade it. Again, we've left some things out there this year. I would guess just off the top of my head 3 or 4 wins or losses I'd love to have back. We should have won the game, those games, including the district tournament, quite frankly. But any coach this time of year could say that. It's such a long season. You're going to leave some things out there. And, on the flip end of it, you might get lucky in time or two and sneak up and win a game or 2 you're not supposed to. So it all goes hand in hand. Right,
exactly. And so when you talk about the marathon that you're in, and these kids – they're not sophomores anymore, because of all the floor time. Whereas, you have some kids, maybe if you're a senior-laden team or you have a lot of upperclassmen, maybe your sophomores may still be sophomores, but your sophomores are not sophomores right now.
Not anymore. No, they cannot rest their laurels on that. They have logged a lot of minutes, and I'm thankful for that. I mean, it's only going to make us better going forward. And, going into next year, of course, our focus right now is Blackman tonight and extending these seniors' season, as much as we possibly can.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about that game tonight. So you're at Blackman because it's satellite is in the first round. I'm going to talk a little bit. Of course, I would be remiss if we didn't mention horse racing, being the guy that I am and the stud that you are. So Rocky's Balboa is
great name. Love it.
He's a long shot. He's running the Fountain Youth today, 20-1 on the morning line, trained by my buddy Dale Romans. He'll be ridden by Luis Saez, who is a great jockey. But Rocky's Balboa, he's won 2 in a row. But here's the whole thing about Rocky's Balboa. He's in the Fountain Youth at 21, but he's got a fighter's chance. Why? Because he can flat run. You have got a fighter's chance because your team plays hard, and you have moments where you shoot the basketball pretty good. So you feel like you got a fighter's chance going tonight. Because I remember last year it was later in the region tournament, but I think that you kind of had pulled a big upset against Blackman. You were decided underdog in that game. Of course, you had a little bit different squad. You had more seniors, but still. So talk about having a fighter's chance going into the game tonight.
But yes, we're going into backtracking to last year. Yeah, underdog is definitely the way you would put it, and that works both ways. Don't think Blackman doesn't have a memory, also, and
right.
So we're and keep in mind we're going to their place tonight, so it will be some hostile territory going on for sure, which makes this all fun. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, fighter's chance for sure. I mean, we've played a extremely tough schedule this year. The Lipscomb Academies of the world, Brentwoods. I'm drawing a blank again. It's all blurred. It's such a marathon of a season, but I've never felt, nor would I. It's just not in my makeup to let's mail this game in because it ain't gonna work out well for us. No, I can't. I wouldn't dare do that. No coach should teach their kids to have a defeated mentality. So, and I certainly guarantee you, my players do not.
Well, because I know last year in that game, like you decided underdog, you may not have been 20-1. You may be 20-1 tonight. No offense, but you weren't 21. But still, you had a great game plan, and your kids bought in, and everybody executed and had the game of their life. And it had to be so rewarding for you last year. And I know it doesn't mean anything this year, but still, you know that it can happen.
Oh, 100%. I mean, in postseason playing basketball, anything can happen, negatively or positively. I mean, you never know. And of course, Coach Wharton's, I'm sure, told his kids the same thing. It's you have to, it's just you have to be on high alert every possession. Absolute 100% focus to do your job, to play with max effort, and to execute on the floor. I didn't say play perfect, but again, things getting heightened. Alert-wise, for sure, come postseason play in basketball, and that's what makes it fun, too, by the way.
Well, I think so, and I think that, this is just my personal opinion as a casual observer, I think that the postseason play is better for your coaching style because of what you just said, of the importance of possession, valuing the basketball and all that stuff. So I think your coaching style fits very well for the postseason because that is really accentuated this time of year. Yes,
and I would say, too, there's just so many great coaches around here, in everyone in our region, mind you. What makes it fun, too, is the chess game between us coaches and scheme-wise and game plan-wise and, all the film we watch and trying to just find something that you can key on. And that makes it fun, too. At least, I'm old now. I'm not a kid that gets run around out there and dribble a basketball, but that as we're still competitors too, so that does make it fun, that right. aspect.
Does the region tournament, because I know like the last few years, first round of the region, you're going to play somebody else, but you're not. You're playing county foes that you have familiarity with. Does that make it maybe a little bit more fun for just the reason that you just said?
Well, I despise riding a bus, so yes, it makes it fun. So all we got to do is go to Blaze Drive over there off Fortress. So yes, but I think I've said it here before. All of us coaches are such a close fraternity here, I'd rather go toe-to-toe with Barry Wortman than some coach I don't know. I'd rather hang out and talk ball with Barry Wortman for 10 minutes during warm-ups, and
right.
So there's a camaraderie there where we get to compete against each other too. So yes, I guess in an odd way it does make it fun.
So when we talk a little bit about Siegel Nation, I want to talk about Siegel Nation because I think that you guys travel well as far as student section, all that kind of stuff. So talk about what you're expecting tonight from Siegel Nation because it is just a crosstown game.
Well, my expectations are one thing, but all I can tell Siegel Nation is back to your initial questions about my 3 seniors. Don't show up for me. Show up to support those 3 young men. Again, they've represented that school just greatly. in phenomenal ways their 4 years. They deserve it, not me.
Well, the camaraderie of it all too, and that's one of the fun things to me about high school sports, or backing your classmates, because they are your classmates. In college maybe you may not have because the university can be so big, but high school's not. And to me, that's one of the special things, or when you can have those student sections there.
Correct. And this is a theory, and it may sound just silly, but Siegel's kind of in limbo. It opened in 2003. You take Smyrna, Laverne, Riverdale, Oakland. They've got people sitting in their stands who have graduated grandkids from those schools. Siegel's still in that limbo.
Right.
It's not new, but it's not old either.
Right.
And so I appreciate that out of those more established schools that have that deeper fan base. But Siegel's getting there. This year alone, I've seen a lot of former players pop in and out of games, and it's great to see.
When you consider the history of Siegel basketball, in recent history, the state, 4 years ago, something like that, 5 years ago, went to the state and was in the state tournament all those years with Chris Harris as coach. So there is a very strong history there with Siegel basketball, even though it may not be that old.
Oh, there's a strong history between Coach Harris, Coach Dotson, Birdwell once, I think 8 state tournament runs, in, what's the math, 23 years. So, the history regarding the competitive nature of Siegel basketball and its success for sure is there.
Pretty strong history. So if you want to see a good, well-coached basketball game, Barry Workman versus Matt Rigsby, man, I'm getting excited just talking about it. So it's going to be a great game tonight, Coach. We certainly wish you the best of luck and appreciate your time.
Thank you, DB.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com.